Hey, good day to all you YouTube viewers, all the YouTube family. Hey, big ups to all my new subs. Thank you all for subbing to my channel. Thank you for your support. I greatly appreciate all y'all. And also, thank you for subbing to my channel. Now, I thought I would make a follow-up video basically explaining why I set up my Home on Wheels, aka 1988 Plymouth Voyager van the way I did. Now, if I would have tried to explain it on my last video, the video would have been way too long. So I thought I would make another video just going through why I set up my van the way I did. And also I would like to give a few safety pointers to everybody who's wanting to travel on the road, whether it be full-time, part-time, or whatever the case may be. Now, the reason why my setup was the way it was is because, number one, I'm still not sure whether I'm going to do it full-time or whether I'll just stay doing it part-time. Number two, if I do it full-time, as I said in my video that I made the other day, I would buy a bigger and better van than what I currently am driving. So with that being said, I do not want to put a lot of money into this van. And also, given that this van is such a small van, you know, I don't want to weigh the van down with putting a bunch of wood in it, because, you know, the more you put in your vehicle, the more you weigh it down, the worse the gas mileage. And given that this is a small van and it's older, I don't want to be weighing it down with a bunch of stuff that I feel is not necessary for me to have at this point. Now, eventually, yes, I will have some sort of a solar setup. No, it's not going to be nothing fancy. I mean, I'll probably have like 100 or 200 watt solar setup of some sort. And when I do, I will probably also go to Goodwill and buy maybe a small wooden table or two real small wooden tables, you know, put them together and then make a bed out of that. And then under that, I'll store some stuff and I'll store my solar setup. I might do it like that. Right now, I'm not 100% sure. Now, with my van being such a small van, when I went to Walmart, which is everything that you saw in my video concerning my van tour, the majority of that stuff I purchased at Walmart. Just so you all know. And so far, I'm $160 into this van concerning getting it set up for van drilling. Now, I don't plan to spend no more than $500 out the door. And also, the way I'm going to set it up is, I'm going to set it up to where I have as many collapsible pieces of furniture as possible. And I'm going to also set it up to where when I get ready to get rid of this van, I can take everything out of the van relatively quick and easy and put it all in my next van quick and easy. So, for those who have watched my other video concerning my van tour, just keep that in mind for whenever you see the inside of this van. And one thing I forgot to mention in my last video was I forgot to mention my clothing. Now, as far as it goes for clothes, I'm going to most likely be storing my clothes up here in the front seat with me. Now, I do have a duffel bag right here, which has got everything that I typically need to go work out in. It's got a towel, washcloth, regular shampoo and soap, and all the whole 9 yards. That way, whenever I go work out, I can take a shower afterwards. So I do have, stuff for working out and taking regular showers, you know, and all that good stuff. Now, there's a few safety pointers that I would like to give everybody who is wanting to be on the road for any reason, whether it be part-time or full-time. I mean, first of all, you want to have your license, your insurance, and your vehicle registration ready. So if you get pulled over by the police, you can just grab it real quick and hand it to the police officer. With, you know, that way, that will minimize the BS that some people have to go through or think they have to go through whenever they get pulled over by law enforcement officials. So just have all your documents ready and hand it over to the police officer. I mean, and number two, concerning police officers, if you get pulled over, just do what they tell you to do. I mean, don't sit there and try to argue with them. Don't sit there and try to tell them what your rights are and all the other kind of madness. I mean, if you feel that the police officer is being unreasonable, you know, once you do what you gotta do with the police officer, you can always go home and call the city that you were in when you got pulled over, and you can always dispute your issue at courts or whatever, you know, however stuff like that is handled. But if you sit around and argue with law enforcement officials, you know, you're going to be number one, you might be subject to being arrested because they might claim that you're disobeying lawful orders and resisting arrest and all that other kind of madness. So, you know, and secondly, if you get pulled over by a cop who's had a messed up day and maybe they're somewhat of a jerk, you know, they might pull you out the car and, you know, beat you up and all that other kind of madness. So, you know, just to avoid a lot of that madness, if you get pulled over, you know, be cordial, be respectful, do what the officer tells you to do. Have all your documents ready. Do not make any sudden moves. And, you know, for the most part, you should be all right. Now, I'm black. I'm 6 foot tall and I weigh well over 200 pounds. I've been pulled over by law enforcement officials plenty of times. I have had no issues out of none of them because, you know, when I get pulled over, I'm respectful. I do as I'm told. I have all my documents ready to go and I hand it over to them. And then, you know, they run me through and come back to give me back my stuff. You know, if I get a ticket for speeding, oh well, it is what it is. If I was speeding, then I'll accept responsibility. If I wasn't speeding, then I'll just take the ticket to court and fight it. So, you know, when you get pulled over by law enforcement, you know, just do what they tell you to do. That's basically what the point of that is. And another thing is, always have some sort of roadside assistance service. Rather it be a roadside assistance service that your insurance company may provide you, or rather it be a service that you choose, such as AAA. But whatever it is you do, have some sort of roadside assistance service. Now, if you're going to be on the road, traveling long distance like I'm going to be, I'm going to have AAA, and I'm going to have the gold membership, which I think is the best one they got. Which, if your car breaks down or something, I think you get up to, I want to say 100 miles. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's like 100 miles or something of that sort. Because if you get a tow package that's only allows you, let's say, 3 miles, then, you know, you're going to be paying a lot of money. Like if you're in the middle of nowhere and the closest mechanic is, let's say, 20 miles away, you're going to be paying a chunk of change to have your car towed to that mechanic. As where if you have 100 miles, you'll have a lot, you know, number one, you'll have somewhat of a choice of who you want to take your car to. And number two, with 100 miles, you know, you won't have to pay as much money, if any, to get your car towed. So it's always good to have some sort of roadside assistance service. I mean, not just for towing, but, you know, what if you get it flat and you don't currently have a spare, like I don't. Or some of y'all don't even know how to change a tire. So if you get it flat and you need someone to change your tire, you know, I mean, anything of that sort. It's always good to have a roadside assistance service of some sort available. And I would prefer that people have one that allows them 100 miles worth of tow before they're charged out of pocket. So let's see what else. Now, as far as my setup is concerned, me personally, you know, I like to practice safety as much as possible. So unless I'm on the road doing my camping, I will not carry propane. I will not carry antifreeze. I won't even carry windshield wiping fluid unless I'm actually on the road camping. And I do that for safety reasons. And I also do it because, you know, like windshield wiping fluid, that's got a tendency to spill. Same thing with antifreeze. And with propane, if you're driving on a bumpy road, especially with the portable propane cans, those sometimes have a tendency to blow up. So just for safety reasons, that I'm not going to carry none of that stuff unless I'm actually on the road using that stuff. And even when I do carry it, I'm gonna put it all in a metal box of some sort. That way, when I'm on bumpy roads or whatever, all that stuff is not bouncing around all over my vehicle. So for safety reasons, that's what I would advise other people to do as well. Let me think here if I got anything else for y'all. Oh, and another thing is, before you hit the road, I would advise you to take your vehicle to your local mechanic, have him check it out thoroughly. That way you minimize the surprises once you hit the road. Like, if you got dry rotted tires, if you have a good mechanic, he'll let you know, hey, your tires are dry rotted, let's replace them. Or he'll at least advise you to replace them. That way when you hit the road, you don't have a tire blowout. Or maybe there's something within the engine, that department, that's going bad. Or maybe there's something wrong with your brakes that you don't know about. I mean, so if you take your vehicle to your mechanic will most likely be able to point some of those things out to you before you hit the road. So before you hit the road, definitely take your vehicle to your mechanic. And another thing is, make sure all your fluids are topped off to its proper level. You know, check your windshield wiping fluid, check your transmission fluid, check your oil level. And if you're driving an older vehicle, pay special attention to your oil level. And it wouldn't hurt to also pay special attention to your coolant, so you don't, blow your head gaskets. So, check your tranny, your oil, your power steering, your washing fluid, and your antifreeze. Check all that before you hit the road. In fact, even when you're en route, I would advise within 50 miles of your trip, I would advise every 50 to 75 miles. Pull over somewhere safe and check your fluids again. Walk around your vehicle, check your tires. Listen to your engine. Make sure your vehicle is running the way it's supposed to run. Every so often, test your brakes. Make sure your brakes are working the way they're supposed to and nothing got loose off in there. And also, carry a weapon. Whether it be a stick, a knife, a gun, whatever. Carry some sort of protection for yourself. Because you got a lot of people out here that aren't right these days. So, definitely carry some sort of weapon with you. Now, for those that might have a few extra dollars, it would not hurt to take some sort of self-defense class. Not only will it help you out in defending yourself out here, but it will also be good exercise for you as well. So, that's something good to do as well. And, and this should go without saying, obviously, if you're camping, if you don't know the person and they ask you for a ride, I mean, me personally, I'm not giving nobody no rides. I'm just not going to do it. Now, if you're one of those people that are like super nice and you want to be nice to everybody, or whatever, all I gotta say is do it with caution and make sure you have a weapon. And make sure you have your weapon by you. And don't let the other person know what kind of weapons that you carry. Don't even talk about it. Just do your business. And anyone who you transport, for safety reasons, sit them in the front of your vehicle. Now, if you're camping with somebody else, if you're gonna give somebody a ride, put them in the front of the seat, put them in the front seat, and then the other person who you're camping with, have that person sit behind the person who you picked up. That way, if that person tries to get stupid, if you're in the back, if there's somebody in the back kind of watching what's going on, there'll be a better chance that the two of y'all can overpower that person. And at the end of the day, nobody's going to get hurt. I mean, those are the safety, I don't know what you call it, man. I'm out of it today. Forgive me. But those are some of the safety precautions that I could think to give all of you out here. So again, thanks for watching another episode of Weekend Van Driller. And I will see you on the next video. Have a blessed day.